Hello and welcome to sentence diagramming exercise number 11. In this lesson, we learn to join together things that go on horizontal lines like subjects and predicate adjectives and indirect objects with conjunctions. Yes, compounds, subjects, predicates, direct objects, etc. Okay, so hopefully you started the warm-up already. And for the first sentence, you came up with something like Kermit, comma, Fozzie Bear, comma, Miss Piggy, comma, and Sam the Eagle are a frog, comma, a bear, comma, a pig, comma, a whatever, comma, and Muppets. And excuse me, that should not say Sam the Eagle, that should say Gonzo. Little typo there on my part. And if you watch, I think it's the second Muppet film, The Great Muppet Caper, Gonzo flies in an they fly in an airplane, but they're too cheap. They travel in crates instead of in seats in the airplane, and Gonzo's crate is stamped with the word whatever. So that's where that's a reference. That's an allusion, there you go, to that. Okay, and for the second sentence, hopefully you got something like, my cousins caught, comma, cooked, comma, and ate 2 fish and a rabbit for dinner. Not a true story, but a good sentence. And hopefully for number 2, you came up with something like this. Split the horizontal line, whatever horizontal line it is that you're working with, into as many lines as you need. So here I needed 4, here I needed 5, here I needed 3, there I needed 2. Connect them with a dotted vertical line, like meow, 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 and meow. Write the conjunction along the dotted line. Yeah, I'm writing it going down, but that's okay. And then bring the horizontal lines back together if you need to, like I did here, because Kermit, Fozzie, Miss Piggy, and Gonzo are all subject, but there's only one predicate. And then it splits again for all those predicate nominatives. Here it splits for the 3 predicates, but then it comes back together again, because the fish and the rabbit were caught, they were cooked, and they were, eaten. All 3 of those things. Okay, so you bring the horizontal lines back together if you need to. All right, and sometimes these are people call these like angel wings or butterfly wings or rocket ships or something like that. If you want to call it that, that's cool. You can do that. All right, I'm going to erase this. We're going to move on to our sentences. Okay, here's the first sentence. Bacon and eggs are my favorite breakfast dish. We're going to be doing the same things that we've been doing before, just sometimes now we'll have multiple subjects, multiple predicates, multiple direct objects, multiple objects of prepositions. It's an exciting time we live in now that we're learning to do this. Sentences can get a lot more interesting and a lot more complicated and a lot more like the sentences that we actually speak. Okay. Bacon and eggs are my favorite breakfast dish. Now, we would be identifying prepositional phrases here, except that there aren't any in this sentence. So now we're going to go on to subjects and predicates. Bacon is a subject. Eggs is a subject. Are is the predicate. Okay. Bacon and eggs are what? Are dish. Are is a linking verb. And dish is a noun. So dish is going to dish, the word that answers the question, what? Is going to be a predicate nominative. There's no indirect object here, so we're ready to move on. So we've got 2 subjects, bacon, that's one subject, eggs is another subject, but only one predicate, are, and then what are they? They are dish, the predicate nominative. Let's do the parts of speech. Bacon is a noun, and is a conjunction, eggs is a noun. My is an adjective, it's a possessive. Favorite is an adjective. Breakfast is an adjective, not a noun here, because it tells us what kind of dish it is. Dish is a noun. Okay, so we're ready for the main line of the diagram, which isn't, normally it would look like this. Oh, except we've got 2 subjects now, so we need our rocket ship, butterfly wing, whatever we want to call it. Bacon, eggs. And bacon and eggs are And then we need the backward slanting line. They are dish. There we go. Bacon and eggs are dish. And then my favorite and breakfast all describe dish. My goes on a lazy L because it's a possessive. My favorite breakfast dish. Okay. All right. So let's move on to number 2. Please take a moment to parenthesize your prepositional phrases. Pause the video. Okay, I hope you found that there were 3 prepositional phrases here. For joy, at the beginning, and of winter break. The next thing you should do is identify the subjects and predicates that you can find. Notice that those words, subjects and predicates, can be plural now. That's a hint. Pause the video until you're done. Okay, I hope you found that students and teachers are both subjects and that ran and jumped are both predicates. So students and teachers ran and jumped what? Now there's not anything that they're running and jumping here, and I hope that you can see that. There's no direct object, predicate, adjective, or predicate nominative in the sentence. That happens sometimes. Is there an indirect object? Well, you could kind of argue that joy is the reason, it's the person or thing to whom or for whom they're running and jumping, but usually an indirect object is a person, so I'm going to let that one go. Please take a minute to label the parts of speech of your sentence. Okay, and here's what I hope you came up with. The is an article, students is a noun, and is a conjunction. Teachers is a noun, ran is a verb, and is a conjunction, jumped is a verb, for is a preposition, joy is a noun. There has to be a noun in the prepositional phrase, remember, if that one gave you trouble. At is a preposition, the is an article, beginning is a noun, of is a preposition, winter is an adjective, and break is a noun. Okay, please take a moment to pause the video and construct your main line of the diagram. Remember, you're working just with the parts of the sentence here. So just those things. Ready, break. Okay, I hope you came up with something like this. Students and teachers, oh, I'm not quite done, ran and jumped. I hope you got it. Now, here's where things get kind of fun and exciting. One thing you need to think about is whether this the is talking about just the students or whether it's also talking about the teachers. The students and teachers ran and jumped for joy at the beginning of winter break. Now, if you think it's just the students, then you can just do this, that's fine. The students and teachers ran and jumped for joy at winter break. So if we took out the students, then the sentence would be teachers ran and jumped for joy at the beginning of winter break. But if you think we should be thinking about this sentence as if it says the students and the teachers, even though there's only one word the, you think the should describe the students and it should describe the teachers, then you have to do something a little bit racy. And that's this. The is a modifier, so it goes on a diagonal line connected to the word it modifies. And we start our diagonal line, so we need a diagonal line coming off of students. We need a diagonal line coming off of teachers too, and they need to be the same diagonal line because there's only one word. And we don't want to write it more than once if we don't have to. So you could do this. And now it says the students and the teachers ran and jumped. And now we've got to do these prepositional phrases. Question. Are they jumping for joy and running? Or are they running for joy and also jumping for joy? Same thing. It's the same question as before. So if you think that they're running and also that they're jumping for joy, then you would diagram this. But if you think that they're also running for joy and jumping for joy, then you need to find a way to have for joy connected to jumped and connected to ran. There are two ways that you could do that. One way would be to do the thing that we just did over here with the. Now, for joy is on its lazy L, and the diagonal for the lazy L, is it connected to jumped? Yes. Is it connected to ran? Yes. Okay, good job. So that works. But you know what? This at the beginning of winter break is when the running and jumping happened, and we're going to have to get a bunch of stuff connected to at the beginning of winter break. I think what I would like to do is just bring the two lines back together here. So we split up the lines, now we can bring them back together. Why did they run and jump? For joy. I would like you to take a minute to diagram the rest of the prepositional phrases in the sentence. Pause the video. And I hope you came up with something like this. At beginning, with the coming off of it, and then of break, with winter coming off of it, off of beginning. Okay, so for joy comes off the main line. That's why they were running and jumping, because they felt so joyful. At the beginning tells us when they were doing this, so that comes off of the main line too. But then of winter break tells us more about the beginning. And of winter break needs to come off of beginning and not off of the main line. Okay, sorry I got a little messy down there. Hope you can live with that. I'm going to erase it now. I'm also going to press a button so that we can see what we're doing again. All right, y'all. The next step for you is to read, label the parts of sentence, label the parts of speech, and diagram this third sentence. On average, the Incredible Hulk smashes 55 windows, 12 cars, and 1 high-rise per day. Start by parenthesizing prepositional phrases before you go at the parts of sentence. And please pause the video until you're done. Ready? Go. All right, here we go. Incredible Hulk is the subject. Smashes is the predicate. Windows, cars, and high-rise are all direct objects. I hope you use your Latin skills, by the way, to realize that per is a preposition, meaning for each. On average is also a prepositional phrase, too. On is a preposition, average is a noun, the is an article, Incredible Hulk is a noun, smashes is a verb, 55 is an adjective, windows is a noun, 12 is an adjective, cars is a noun, and is a conjunction, one is an adjective, high-rise is a noun, per is a preposition, and day is a noun. Okay, here's our main line. Incredible Hulk, subject, smashes, predicate, and then there are 1, 2, 3 direct objects. We get a vertical line, and then the main line splits. 1, 55 windows. 2, 12 cars. 3, 1 high-rise. 55 windows, 12 cars, and 1 high-rise. And then we have the 2 prepositional phrases, each of which in this case comes off of the predicate. Because on average could be moved to the end of the sentence. The Incredible Hulk smashes 55 windows, 12 cars, and 1 high-rise per day, comma, on average. So that means that it's got to come off of the predicate, because when prepositional phrases or adverbs are mobile like that, you know they're coming off of the predicate, when we can move them around, when they're portable. Likewise, per day, we could move that to the beginning. Per day, comma, on average, the Incredible Hulk smashes, etc., etc., etc. So when you can move an adverb or a prepositional phrase around in the sentence, that means you know that it's describing the predicate. I hope you did a good job, and I hope you were able to successfully handle this first step into this new and exciting world of ways in which we use conjunctions to join together multiple things that are nouns and verbs. It's very exciting. I'll see you later.